Hello all. So I'm here to perform the second assignment, that is use GAE launcher to launch the web applications. So GAE is Google App Engine. So it is a platform as a service given by Google, which provides web app for developers and enterprises with access of scalable hosting and tier 1 internet service. So App Engine requires that apps to be written in Java or Python. So, and it store data in Google Bigtable and use Google Query Language. So it is a very powerful application. So what you can do is you can just write a simple application in your main.py and write its configuration file, and just you can launch your particular application from your console. So it is that simple. So first of all, GE launcher. So first of all, the installation of GE launcher is important. So in the previous video, I have shown that how that particular for GE launcher we need the Cloud SDK to be installed. So if you Google here, so G Cloud SDK. Am I not able? Okay. G Cloud SDK. So here you can click on the first link here. I've shown it before also. I'll not rerun the installation. So simply what you need to do is you need to pull in the, like, I am on Windows now. So what you do need to do is you need to pull in the installer, it present at this link here. So what it will do, it will download an installer, and after running an installer you will have the gcloud SDK installed with your particular mail account whichever you have. So that is what you need to do, and that is the prerequisite that needs to be installed. The next thing is, like, what we need is Python. So installation of Python on Windows platform, right? Install Python on Windows. If you type in here Windows, so it will take you to the Python downloads folder here directly. And so when you go to the Python download folder here, you can see that which are the releases. This is the release version. This is the release date. And what we'll do is we will install the recent Python version. So I'll click on the download, and here it will show you that for which particular operating system you want to install it, right? Is it for Mac OS, is it for Windows? So whichever system you are running on, so you can install it for that. Okay, so as I am on Windows 64-bit, this one installer is required, so I'll click on it. So I have already downloaded it. Just download this application. So after download here, you can see that this is the application. If I double click on it here, so what it will say is that I have already installed it before. So if you are installing for the first time, it will not give you an option to either modify, repair. It will ask you to install it and give it a path that where you want to install it. So rather repairing, or what I'll do is I'll repair it, and that will be a simple application installation of Python. So let it repair. Like, we'll wait for its repairing. You'll not have an option if you haven't installed Python before. If you have installed Python before and it is a lower version than 3.10.1, it will ask you to upgrade that particular version. So it depends on you that what you want to do. So it is repairing it now. So let us wait for repairing it. Yeah. Meanwhile, it is told that we have to use GA launcher to launch the web applications. So there are two parts now. As we have the GA launcher, as we have the G Cloud installed, and also we have to make a web application. So in this particular video, what we will do is we will make a web application where you put in a pin code, and you get a post office address nearby you, that particular pin code, that where the particular post office is there, and what is his name, what is the block number, and that all. So that is what. Yeah, the repair was successful. Okay, so if I open a simple CMD here, and if I run py, so here you can see that okay, Python 3.10.1 is installed here, and if I simply print something hello, so it will print it. So this means that Python is installed, or it is installed now. So what we'll do, we are ready with all the tools which we need now. So what we need to do is we need to write a web application now. So that web application will be launched by using the GAE launcher. So yes, let me make a folder here. Suppose web app, web app 1, and what I'll do is I'll open this particular folder in my code editor, which is VS Code. You can use anyone which you like. So you can use Sublime or whichever you want. So there is why we are particularly using this GAE launcher, because as GAE launcher is a platform as a service provided by G Cloud, so you can run your web applications on a single command. So it is that powerful. So you should use GAE launcher for that thing. Now, typically, so I'm telling you about the directory structure, how the directory structure of a particular GA application is. So first of all, this is the root folder, suppose root folder. So in the root folder, what we'll do is, first of all, we have to make a, let me increase the font size. First, we have to make a app.yaml, which will have all the configurations related to your particular file. Second one is the main.py file, where you write your business logic there. Next one are the templates folder, where all the templates which you are going to render in the main.py files are sitting there. And next one is the static folder. This static folder contains all the static files which are the images, may it be images, may it be CS or CSS, or may it be JS. All the particular uh, static files will be residing here, and all the templates will be residing here, and the main.py file is where you write your logic here, and app.yaml is the configuration file. So this is the app directory structure. So as we are making a simple application, what particular directory structure I have followed is, I have made an app.yaml, I have made a main.py, and I have rendered two templates in the same directory here. I haven't made templates folder and static folder. So what I have done is I have written an index.html here only, and index.html, and the another one is result.html, results.html, right? So this is what the application will look like now in the root directory. So I'll close this. Okay, so what we have to do is, first of all, app.yaml, right? Yeah, app.yaml. So we need to mention the runtime, as the runtime is now what we'll do is we'll use Python 2.7 runtime, and we need to give it a thread. What thread is, thread tells that if you are making a particular application, do you want multiple threads to access that information at multiple threads to access that particular information at the same time. So if you write true here, then multiple threads will be allowed to access that particular information, else if you write false here, it will not allow, right? So if you write true here, it will allow. um, Now after that, what you need to mention is, are the handlers here, right? So first of all, which particular URL in the handlers, what you need to mention is, there are two components here, the URL, and the next one is the script which is going to run. So on which particular URL which script is going to run, that is to be decided by the handlers. So if a particular application is running on local host, and if any get or post request is hitting that particular URL. So which particular script should run, so that is to be mentioned here. So as we don't have any script here, what we'll do is it has to be main.py as we discussed here. So what we'll do is we'll write a main.py, right? So before mentioning which script and which application it needs to run, what we'll do is we'll write a main.py here. Yeah. So now starting with the main.py. So first of all, I'll import some modules. Okay. Rather importing modules, what we'll do is we'll write the logic first, and why I'm importing that modules will have a better idea then. So this is the main page. Main page is the class where the get and post requests are going to come, right? So main page. So what I need to do is, as this main page is going to inherit from the web app 2, web app 2 has a request handler. So what that request handler will give us is the particular request which is coming from the browser. So it will bring all the information that is coming from the browser to this particular class. So with the help of that particular handler, we'll be able to access that particular information. So that is why we are going to inherit web app 2, web app 2's request handler class into main page. Okay. So let us import web app 2 first, web app 2, and let us inherit web app 2's request handler into this particular class. Okay. Request handler. Now, if a particular request is a GET request, so what this particular application should render, that we need to mention here, right? So if a GET request comes to this particular main page application, so what we'll do is what com what particular thing it will render is, first of all, it needs to render a particular template. So what template it will render is, now what we'll do is we'll write an index.html here, which is to be rendered by this particular get method. So as we need to render that particular index.html, we'll mention it here, response dot self dot response dot out dot write template dot render that particular part to that particular template, and the template and the context actually. So we need to import this template renderer also. We can write out simple strings to the application which has requested the web page actually. So if you need to render a particular HTML page, if a template is to be rendered, so what you need to use a template which can render this particular index.html to the front end which has requested it. Okay, so you need to import it. So it is residing in from google.appengine.ext.webapp import template. Okay, so this is done. Now we have two variables here, path and context, right? So what path is? Path is the path to this particular file. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take help of the OS module here. What I'll do is I'll import OS module here. So what path it has is, we need to mention the absolute path, os dot path dot join, os dot path dot dir name, comma index.html. Okay, so what this os.path.join is going to do is, what this will take the path of this current file which is main.py, the directory name of this particular file which is main.py directory is this particular web app one, right? And after that, what it will do is it will attach the this file's name which is index.html. So we need to mention it here, right? Index.html. Okay, now this particular path is defined. Now what we need to do is we need to render a context. So what this particular template dot render needs, there are two arguments: what context that particular template needs to have in it, and what path it needs to have in it. So rather, what, as it is a get request and we don't want anything, any context in that particular this in that particular index.html. So what we'll do is we'll leave it blank here. So this is the context, and what we'll say that okay, this is particular path and this is the context. So please go and please re-render, like just render the particular index.html page with context as nothing. It is blank, right? So that is about the get request. Now, so let me do like I'm not going to write the whole index.html page here. I have written it before, so I'll just copy it from GitHub. I have the repository, so pull that. I'll pull the code here just. Okay. Yeah. So I have an index.html page here. So what we'll do is we'll copy this page HTML content from here and I'll paste it in the index.html here. Okay. Okay. And the next one is the now. After now, as I'll show you what index.html contains. So what I'll do is I'll launch this particular in the open server index.html. I'll launch it. I'll show you that what this particular file contains, right? Open with live server. Let me reload this window actually. Okay, so this is the particular application. I'll open it for you. So yeah, this is a simple index.html page which has a input window which says that okay, this is a location zip code, and what we need to do is we need to have a particular zip code, and what it will tell us is it will tell us which zip code it has the front end is sending to us, right? So now if that particular front end is sending me a zip code, so what I need to do is it is going to come to me in a post request. So first of all, what I'll define is a post request here. Define get self post. I'll define a post request. If my particular application is making a post request at the local host URL only, at the root URL, so I need to handle it here in the main page only. So this is this. So I'll write the code here first of all. So pin code is self.request.get. So self.request is a dictionary which will contain all the information that is posted in that particular form in the front end. So as you can see here that in the index.html here, here you can see that this is the form and what action, this particular action contains the path of the root. So if I am hosting this particular application at 127.0.0.1 colon 5500, after this particular what this particular thing needs to do is at the same URL you need to put the post request which will contain the input with the name zip code. So what I have done is in the backend I have catch that particular I need to catch that particular zip code here, right? So as it is, as you can see here in the index.html, it is named as zip code. So I'll catch it here. Okay. So now there is a API, open API for post offices. So post office API. So let me open it. Yeah, so here you can see that there is an postal pin code. So this is an API. So this particular API is here, and what you need to do is you need to put in the your particular pin code here. So what it will do is it will send you all the particular post offices which are there, residing this particular pin code. Okay, so I have my postman open. I'll show what particular data it is sending. So this is my home's pin code here, and if I send a get request at this particular pin code, so here you can see that these many post offices are there, right? Here, here you can see it. So these many post offices are there. Okay, so these are the this is what we are going to do is we are just going to render the first post office which you are going to get via this API. So first of all, what API it is, at what URL we need to hit, right? Okay, so URL will be this. I'll copy this URL here, this URL. Okay, and I need to attach pin code, right? Pin code, this is the pin code which I have got from that particular post request from this index.html. Okay, and now what I'll do is I'll collect the data which is coming from that particular API in a data variable, and for putting a get request, what we'll do is we'll use the URL lib module. So URL lib module, what it will do is it will open the URL open, and uh, whatever particular URL data is going to come, it will read it. Okay, so here you can see that the squiggly line, that means we haven't imported URL lib, so we need to do that first. URL lib. Okay, so that is that. So URL lib is imported, and yeah, that is what the data is. And as we are going to take the first post office only, so as you can see the data, I'll show what data it is sending. It is sending a list, it is sending a single list where there are objects here. So this is the major object, bigger object. So that bigger object is containing the message that how many you have found it, what is the status of that particular request, and how many post offices, that post offices objects are here, right? So it is quite you need to dig down, and you need to choose what you want to send to the front end here. So what I'll do is I'll take that from, as I've already written, I'll take it from here only, main.py. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take the post office, the name of that post office, in which block it is and which district it is. Okay, so I'll paste it here. This is the post office. Okay, now in the front end, what we need to do is, as we need to render these post office name, block, and district. So what we need to do is we need to send the template values, what particular values the result template must have, right? So as we know that it must have post office name, block, and district's name, right? So we'll copy this. No, okay. Yeah, there are quite shortcuts in VS Code. You can use that shortcuts. So yeah, commas. Okay, we are done with the context, which the same context I have just named it as template values. Okay, so you can name it context also. It does not matter. So, and after that, what you need to do is you need to write the things. So Same thing. There are two variables, path and we have the template values as the context is already there. So without wasting time, what we'll do is we'll write the path to the result.html. So before writing it, what we need to do is results.html should be present, right? So what we'll do is we'll take the os dot um, path os.path.join, the directory name of the main file in which we are now. So underscore file and underscore comma the results.html. Okay, results.html. You need to put in quotes. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll write this particular path and the context values to the front end again. Self.response.write whatever we have done, the same thing. I'll copy it here. I'll paste it down. Okay, just the context instead of context. What we'll do is we'll put in the template values. Okay, this is what is to be done. Now we need an opening to this particular main page. So as we have the request handler, we need to take we need to ask that particular request handler that from where you will take the request, right? So we need to mention an app there. Okay, so we'll mention that app down here. App equal to web app 2 has an WSGI application. What WSGI application is? It is a server that will render that particular request to our backend logic. So where that particular index.html or results.html are to be rendered. So that particular request, the pipelining of that particular request is done by a WSGI application. So that application is present in this particular web app 2. Oh, sorry, I misspelled it. Application. Okay, and what it has is it has the following arguments, that is the path at which after after hitting at which path what particular class should render that particular request. So what this particular line says that if a WSGI application is receiving a request, get request or a post request at the local host, the root URL, then this particular main page application is the one which is going to handle that particular application's request and is going to render that content to the front end. Okay, so if it is getting a get request at that particular root URL, it will send a index.html page, and if it receives a post request, it will send this particular information to the front end. Okay, so this is that, and after that, what we'll do is we'll write debug equal to true. What debug equal to true will help us out, and if there is any problem in a particular application or the source code is missing something, if that is the case, we'll come to know it in the Google Cloud Shell only. It will give us an error that okay, this is the error. Please go and fix it. Okay, so this is what all you need to do is I have already made one. So what I'll do is I'll open that. Okay, this is the one test folder which I have made before. I'll close this one. Yeah. So here you can see that app.yaml is here, index.html there, main.py is here. These files are not required. Main.pyc, readme.md, requirement.txt. Only these four files are important. App.yaml, index.html, main.py, and results.html. Okay. So in this particular main.py here, you can see that okay, this is what the code we have written. So this is all about it. And what we'll do is yeah, we are done with this particular application, writing of this application. Now what we'll do is we'll launch this application now. So let me, yeah, this is the post office finder using web app. So you need to put in the location here. So this is using the local, the go live server only. So what we'll do is we'll launch the application now. Okay, so as it is in the test, here you can see that if you go to to the desktop. Here you can see that there is a test folder. So as we have done in the before the assignment also, what you need to do is you need to put in the pi. What pi is pi will ask that particular dev app server to run the particular application, this particular application uh, on the local server, that is the developer application server, right? So as we have opened, what we'll do is I'll open that cloud shell again. So you need to put in cloud here, and you can see that Google Cloud SDK shell is available. Okay, so this is this uh, the Google Cloud SDK. So first of all, what we need to do is we need to mention pi. After that, Google Cloud SDK, um, we need that devappserver.py utility. Okay, so what we'll do is it is in the Google Cloud SDK bin devappserver.py. Okay, after that we need to mention the path of this particular test folder. So I'll paste it here and I'll enter. Okay, so the application is here now. Yeah, nice. So post office finder using web app. This is the particular address 422601. Sorry, the pin code or zip code you can say. I'll submit it. What it will tell is state of the post office Maharashtra, name of the post office Agasti SSK, block of post office Akole, and district of post office Ahmednagar. So this is the application which you have made, and you can cross check it that okay, yes, this was the particular information which we have fetched from this particular API, and this was the information which we got. Okay, so that is what I have rendered: the name, the particular district, the particular block, and yeah, that is all. Okay, so that was all about this particular application. Thank you.